Hello, my name is MagentaLewi and welcome to yet another Minecraft update video here on the channel. Today we are covering everything new coming in 1.21 through to 1.20.5, which is coming out in the next week. So of course we need to check out all the new stuff that has actually been added in these quote-unquote small updates. It's more than you'd actually think. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into the first update. 1.20.1 only did two new things, and first of all it fixed a lot of critical bugs, but it also was the first update to actually add Serbian. So you can find that down here, and then it should be right there. That is Serbian. So now you can play the game in Serbian. Now getting to 1.20.2, this update added a lot of bug fixes, like a huge list of bugs that needed to be fixed. And then it also added this new command called random. And I'm not really that much into commands at all, but this command could be used to randomize values or control random sequences, like the chance of specific loot in a chest in a structure. So this is perfect for vault builders. Amongst the additions of this update, you will also find that a thrown ender pearl now will disappear if the player dies. So if I throw that and do the kill command, yes, boop, and then we respawn up here, you will see that the ender pearl is actually gone now. So if you do die, you will not teleport to where that pearl was, because it will disappear on death. Another very fine addition in this update is the narrator hotkey. So you can actually allow the narrator to be toggled on and off with Control B now. And on online servers, players can now report each other's names and skins, which will be handled by a team of people and not bots that will ban the name or the skin and give the reported player a chance to change it before banning the player itself. The cool thing for especially world builders is that the barrier blocks can be waterlogged now, so you can actually make water like that. So it's like a water wall if you want to make that, or a water floor actually. So that's pretty cool as well. Forest flowers can now no longer support hanging blocks, and that is of course including the hanging signs, not underneath nor on the side. Pink petals has now changed their hitbox. So now when it's in the first stage, it is actually a very small hitbox, so you cannot break it if you punch the ground besides it, unless you are in a creative mode, of course. But as you can see here, the hitbox actually gets bigger depending on how many flowers there is. So new sounds can now also be detected by Sculk sensors and calibrated Sculk sensors, like turtle eggs hatching, rabbits eating carrots. There's also camels lying down, so when they move around, when they actually lay down, that will also activate the Sculk sensor. There's also evokers using magic, but I'm not gonna put those down right here. And then using bone meal now also activates the Sculk sensor. And all of a sudden this area is just chaos. But yeah, these are all sounds that it wouldn't react to before, but as you can see it reacted right there as well, so that is super duper cool. Now for a change that I actually didn't know about, but apparently you could still die from fall damage when eating chorus fruit, chorus fruit, but that is no longer the case. So if I jump down here, start eating it, and teleport, I take no fall damage at all. So that is actually a viable way to get down from high places now. And if you get an explorer map from one of the cartographer villagers, you will also see that these icons of the different structures has been updated, so they look way cooler now. The bees can now also get pollinated from the chorus fruit and the spore blossom. And if we pass like and subscribe here and go into this cave, you will now see a very big change that I did not know about, which can actually change a lot of the ways that you guys might play the game. And that is the fact that the discount for curing villagers is no longer multiplied if reinfecting and cured again. So when I bought from this guy, you can see it started at 14 emeralds, and then I infected him and cured him, and now I can buy it for 8. But it will not get any lower than that. it only gets cheaper once. So I have actually infected, reinfected, and cured this guy 3 times, and it's still at 8. It does not change more than once. So that actually changes a lot of the ways that I know people make villager trading halls. But on a positive note, they will now spawn iron golems every 30 seconds instead of 35, so all iron farms has been buffed, and also there is now more diamonds in the deep slate layers, and you can also find like ore blobs of 8 diamond ore now generating between -64 and -4. This is also the update that would add the very controversial experimental feature called Villager Trait Rebalance, and it's an experimental feature that will nerf villagers and also buff the Wandering Trader. So very shortly explained, players using this feature must travel to different villages in different biomes or collect all biome types of the villagers to unlock all traits. This mostly applies to librarians like the one behind me, um, as the Snow Librarian is the only one to sell Silk Touch, and the Swamp Librarian is the only one to trade Mending. So if we take a look at this guy who is spawned in the plains, this book that he's selling and the, of course, master book he's selling is going to be a set book. There's no randomness involved in this anymore. It is set books for the specific type of biome librarian that you are trading with. Also, armorers are affected as the specific enchantments on the armor that they sell to you change depending on their biome type as well. This removes the random cycle of making armorers and especially librarians, but it requires so much more exploration of your world. But to help you find all these villagers, the cartographers will now sell maps leading to the specific villagers in different biomes, and structures have an increased chance of generating enchanted books, including mending. And the armorer will now also ask for a small amount of diamonds to actually give you diamond armor. So this is of course to nerf them, so it isn't that easy to get like almost the best armor in the game immediately after just trading a bit with these guys. So it does cost a little bit of diamonds now. And finally, the Wandering Trader now has a bunch more traits than he had before apparently, and these are better than before as well. So now he will actually buy stuff from you for emeralds, like fermented spider eyes and water bottles. But you can now also get some stuff cheaper, like for an example the compressed ice, which was usually 3 emeralds per block, but now it's only 1. And now moving into 1.20.3, there was another bunch of bug fixes, and we also got a new command, or like multiple commands, because now you can actually control the tick speed. So you can change the speed of time, you can check the tick performance, and you can also freeze the tick speed completely. So if we do this, you can see I can walk around, but everything is frozen around me. So that is super duper cool. I don't know what you could use this for, but I'm sure you can use it for a lot of stuff. And then you can go back here and you can say unfreeze. You can also use like rate to check how good it's going, Curie as well, and then sprint to speed it up and see if your computer can actually handle it. So that is pretty cool. Very neat, very nice tool to have now. You can now choose exactly how long it will take for the player to go through a nether portal, both in creative mode and in non-creative mode. And you can also deactivate projectiles' ability to break blocks, such as forest flowers, pointed dripstone, and decorated pots that would normally be able to be broken by projectiles. You can now also hide the splash text out in the main menu, and this was also the update to make the decorated pot Redstone compatible. So you can now actually store a whole stack of items inside. If we take these golden apples out, you can see we can actually just store a whole stack in there. And it can also interact with hoppers, minecarts with hoppers, droppers, and comparators also. So if I just spam it here so it actually stays in there, you can see how it's working with the redstone. And if you do put things into it, it will also trigger a vibration of 11. So it is also usable with the Sculk senses. And the way to get items out is of course by using a hopper, or if you don't have that, then you will have to smash it to get the items inside. Grass is now named short grass, just like the other sort of grass is named long grass. And the jigsaw block now has these priority bars down here, and I honestly don't know much about this block, so I don't want to say anything wrong here, but it is very usable for when you are crafting structures with this block, and these are apparently very good to use in that. The texture of the monster spawner has also been updated. As you can see, you can actually see like the monster face inside of the block now, and before you could only see them on the outside. This is also the update that has added some new things to the bow and arrows and the shield. So first off, when you shoot a special arrow, that will actually stay a special arrow in the world. Before it will change into a regular arrow, but now you can throw these golden arrows around when you are actually using them. And also the shield, when you hold that up, in first person, the shield moves with you, but it wouldn't do that in third person before. But now the shield will actually move with you and it will block everything in front of you, even though it is moving like this. So very cool addition, making that animation make sense. In here we have the final change. If we take a look at all of these, comment your favorite change down below. Bats here, you can see that the bat has actually changed its design and it's way more cute now. And yeah, they're just, I don't know why they go for the corner, but as you can see, they look different from 1.20, so they are very cute now. And this update was also the one to add 1.21 features to the experimental tab, but I will not cover those today. If you want to hear more about those, you gotta check out my other videos on the next Minecraft update. I am constantly putting out videos on the new updates, and I do these like roundup update videos all the time, so you will not miss anything if you make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now moving on to 1.20.4, and there was actually only one change in this truly minor update, and that is a very important bug fix, which was actually that when you put items into the decorated pot and then logged out and logged in again, it would disappear. So they fixed that in 1.20.4, so that is no longer a problem. And now we move on to the final 1.20.5, and again, there was a bunch of bug fixes, and then most importantly, there is of course the Armadillo and Wolf changes. So very quickly, they added armadillos to the game, and they have buffed the dogs, the wolves, and they have added the wolf armor, which you can also dye. So it's just super duper cool. There's a bunch of things to say about this, but I actually don't want to cover that today, because I have already made a huge video covering that up in the corner right now and linked down in the description. So if you want to hear more about the big wolf changes and all the wolf variants, then I highly recommend you to go check that video out instead. The radius of the spawn chunk is now set to only 3 times 3 chunks, but you can now both disable them completely or make them bigger than before, but the 3 times 3 chunks is roughly the same as this area, so that is what will be constantly loaded in your Minecraft worlds. Another very neat detail that they added in this version is the blurry background when you are pausing the game, and you can actually control this if you go to video settings and then go down here. Then you can see the menu background blur, and you can turn that all the way up, or you can actually disable it completely. But the fact that you can see the game behind you now is just super duper cool. To prevent hoppers from making servers lag, they will now no longer try to pick up items that are above full blocks. So as you can see here, the hoppers will not pick up those items, and they will not try to. So it only works on smaller blocks, or not full blocks like the mod. You can see that will get picked up, but it will no longer try to do that with the full blocks. That is, of course, except for the beehives and the bee nests, which it can still take items from. And if we take a look here, since they have added the Armadillo Scoot, the before named Scoot is now named the Turtle Scoot. Other than that, bees and parrots will now fly more accurately, and what that means exactly, I don't know if we can really see that here, but when they are trying to land on stuff or trying to fly into things, it will actually be more accurate now. They will not accidentally fly into stuff and fly into lava, and I don't know what happened before. It should be more accurate now, and I hope that is a very good change. As you will see here, spiders and cave spiders are actually afraid of the armadillo and will try to flee from them, uh, which looks very fun. Apparently they were very confused and oh, I really like seeing the fleeing spiders. They're so quick when they're scared. But the reason for that is, of course, because the armadillos can actually breed and eat with the spider eye, so that's why the spiders are afraid of them. Llamas are now no longer able to destroy armor stands. As you can see there, it didn't break the armor stand. And same actually goes for shulkers, and I'll see if this if this works. Try and shoot me. And yeah, there you can see it actually just disappeared. The projectile actually disappears when you use this method. So maybe you can actually use that in the end, I don't know. But the fact is that the armor stands doesn't get destroyed by the shulker anymore. Axes can now actually get Bane of Arthropods, Smite, and Sharpness through enchanting, and helmets, leggings, and boots can now get Thorns. And they couldn't do that before, they could only get it through the anvil, but now you can actually get that through normal enchantments. And if we go to this beacon over here that I crafted in this world in survival, of course, then you can actually see that instead of choosing one particle, it will actually do all the different particle colors because we have the different status effects here. So it will actually show the particle colors of all the different status effects. You cannot really see it that much because they don't spawn that often, but it is different colors. In the grove, now only the rabbit, fox, and wolf will spawn as the only mobs. And this is so bad for the rabbit, because I didn't know this, but apparently the wolf not only attacks the foxes, but it will also attack the rabbits. I knew they attacked sheep, but they also attack rabbits. So this poor guy really has to flee much. But yeah, before pigs, sheep, and cows would also spawn in the grove, but now it's only these three. And the final few additions in this update is that the UI has been changed to a sleeker look that is still recognizable, but it just looks more pretty. And you will also see in the menu that the background has changed as well. And then finally, they have actually also added the Veosa language, which is right there. And if you don't know what Veosa is, it's like an internet created language, which is a mix of different languages that people have learned through just speaking to each other in their own language. So it's very, very cool, and I don't know how they've managed to put that into the game, but I just think that's very cool. You should definitely look that up. When creating a new world, it's now no longer called allow cheats, but allow commands. And with that, now you know everything new that has been added through 1.20.1 to 1.20.5. So it's actually a lot of additions and a lot of cool things that has been added since 1.20. So yeah, I think you should definitely go and update to 1.20.5. If you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already to help a small YouTuber grow, and then comment your favorite change down in the comments below. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.